The reason that we're, I'm sure, all here is because we were left with so many questions. Sudden, abrupt, she cashes it in and quits. Is that really how it was?
No, it was a long and deliberative internal process deciding how best will our state progress. Everything changed August 29th in Alaska, the day that I was tapped to run for VP. That was obvious. A new political blood sport came into being in our state. And when I returned from the campaign trail, I'm trying for those months to not allow the distractions to stymie or paralyze our administration, and yet conditions pretty tough in terms of the opposition research that had bombarded Alaska and never let up over all these months. So putting a lot of effort into continuing to set the record straight and answer FOIAs and lawsuits and frivolous ethics charges one after another. That was all quite distracting for Alaska, and understanding that our state was not going to reach her potential and progress, reach her destiny, which is to provide energy independence and security for our nation. We weren't going to get there with the conditions that we're under right now. So deciding, well, the best thing for Alaska is for me not to run again. And having made up my mind to not run again, I said, well, then, do we want to go through in my final year of office, as I enter my final year of office, a lame duck session? And seeing these continued millions of dollars in state resources spent in this political blood sport that some people are choosing to play right now, this game of specifically the ethics violations that have been charged, that we win again. Deciding, no, that's not in Alaska's best interests. So let's be honest with Alaskans, and let's say, instead of playing a game of, hold on till the very last minute and telling people I can't decide if I want to run again or not. No, I did decide I'm not going to run again. I want to go help Alaska in different venues and on a different level. So being honest with Alaskans, saying it's best that we hand the reins over to the Lieutenant Governor, let him progress our good agenda and get out of the situation that Alaska's in right now.
Well, let me be honest, it wouldn't appear that you would have been a lame duck until you announced you weren't going to run. You could have done that in June after the legislative
Nothing
session.
was going to change. Nothing was going to change.
In terms of the attacks?
It doesn't cost the critics anything to file frivolous lawsuits or ethics violation charges. It costs our state such a great deal. Thousands of state staff hours, millions of dollars in public resources that aren't going to things that it should be going to, like soldiers' benefits and safer roads and teachers and troopers. Instead, it's going in this land of litigation that some people have chosen to play. So nothing was going to change until I decided, no, I will step aside. I will hand the reins over to Sean Parnell. Let him progress our good, positive agenda for energy independence, national security, reigning in government, fighting for those things that are right. Until I step aside, the conditions won't change in Alaska, and we're not going to be able to get there.
How much of the decision was personal between you and Todd? I've heard that you guys may have been talking about this for months. Is that right?
Spoke to quite a few people over the past months. Of course, family impacts, that was a consideration, but making this decision in that vacuum of what is best for the people whom I serve, the people that I love, and that is Alaskans. It is Alaska. This is what I love. Wanting to make sure I'm doing what's right for our state. It just happened to be that it's also right for my family.
Governor, when I first met your dad, the one thing he told me about you was how tough you were. Mm-hmm. And no matter what was coming down the pike, Sarah could handle it.
Yeah.
Did this prove tougher than you thought?
Now, what has proven tough has been making this decision, because it's a decision that I did not make lightly. It was prayerful consideration before I made the decision, and it's tough to take a tougher road, a less comfortable road. The comfortable road for most politicians is, you just hang in there, kind of go with the flow, and hang, especially through a lame duck session. Yeah, you're not going to get anything done, but hey, you take advantage of it, and you go do what you want to do your final year. Tough has been, no, I'm not going to take that comfortable path. I'm going to take the right path for the state. I'm going to let this state progress. And then I'm going to be able to get out there and help people, help affect change in our state and positive change in our nation. That is my goal, helping to work for other people to do such a thing. And I don't need a title to do that. And they don't need titles either to affect change, but I want to help people who want to fight for the right things.
But Governor, if that is the right road for Alaska,
yeah.
Is it the dangerous road for you to be labeled, in this land of tough people, a quitter?
I'm certainly not a quitter. I'm a fighter, and that's why I'm doing this, to go out there and fight for what is right without the constraints that have been surrounding me in these final months. And anybody who lives in Alaska will tell you, of course, our administration has been paralyzed. We spend most of our day fending off frivolous lawsuits. Let me give you an example. 2 years ago, I was out here commercial fishing. We've been doing this for decades. Out here commercial fishing. I catch a fish, I hold the fish up, somebody snaps a picture of it. That picture was used on our state seafood marketing ad. I was hit with an ethics violation for being in an ad for the state seafood marketing. The ethics violation charges have been absolutely ridiculous, and I'll leave it up to my attorney to keep fighting those and keep winning those, because we haven't violated the ethics code that I championed, as a matter of fact, when we got in here. So no, it's not a matter of retreating or quitting. It's a matter of progressing and forwarding a good, positive agenda in an unconventional way. And I think that's what's caught people off guard is, wait a minute, this is kind of out of the box and unconventional. Well, that is who we are as Alaskans. That's certainly how I am as a public servant, as a person very proud of my state, seeing great potential in my state. Unconventional in the way that we're getting things done, but we certainly are getting those things done.
Is this your unconventional way of announcing you're going to run for president in 2012?
As I said, I do not need a title. Nobody does to
Are you
affect
out of
positive
politics?
change.
Political office?
I can't see me being totally out of public service, because that is within me. It is the way that I am wired, is to
Kevin, I'm
desire
asking you,
to help.
are you ever going to run for president? Are you ruling it out?
All options are going to keep on continue to be on the table, as they have been for me my entire life. I'm not going to close any door that may be open for me out there, so all options are on the table. But for now, I want to help other people in or out of office, don't care what party they're in, if they're willing to fight for what's right. Energy independence, national security, smaller, smarter government, those things that I believe in, that I think are the principles that have built up our nation. I'm going to fight for other people who can help affect the change in those areas.
It's been 3 days. How have those days been?
Exhilarating, energizing, refreshing, to get to come out here with my family and just be in this unpretentious, very hardworking, heartland of America community, and get back to some roots of mine and be out there working very hard on the water yesterday and today. This is really good for me, and it's a chance right now to start looking forward to how I can help our state and help our country in a new direction.
One last question.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's it.
Well, this is one last question. I mean, the personal toll on your family. Do you have mending to do in this family? I know that you mentioned that the family voted what? 4 to
4
nothing,
yeses
and then
and
5
1
hell yes.
yeah, Mom. Let's get out there and fight for what is right without the constraints.
Do they
that
also
you've been
want us
under.
to go away?
No, the kids are really good. They're flexible. They're accommodating to all this. What my kids want to do is see their mom get out there and affect the positive change, and not be bombarded and hounded by the things that are on the periphery that just distract and stymie the progress that our state and our nation can make. My kids know me better than anybody else. They're 4 yeses and 1 hell yeah. We're for, Mom, get out there and fight for what is right. Fight for the future of our country. You can't do it with what you're doing every single day, ever since August 29th, that you wake up and face.
And July 3rd was deliberate?
July 3rd was deliberate. That's a good catch, because that was the eve of Independence Day, yes.
I'm told by your attorney that was your Declaration of Independence.
Well, it was a declaration of, come on, Alaska, let's move forward. I am willing to step aside and allow our state to progress. I love Alaska that much. I don't want to hamper its progress and its potential and our path on reaching our destiny. Our destiny is to contribute more to the U.S., to provide that energy independence and that national security aspect. I don't want to get in the way of that. And I'm willing to step aside and fight for what's right on a different path. So it's not retreat, it's progress.
This is
Governor,
goodbye.
Thank you, sir.